Okie dokie, today is February 24th, which means it is, well, let's see, Monday, Tuesday, it's Wednesday. I'm sure I'm freezing and I know I miss you. This is the first section of the E Pluribus Unum chapter, and it is the Stamp Act Congress. So let's look and see what happened at that Stamp Act Congress. We can certainly predict that it's in reference to or in reaction to the Stamp Act. So we all know the saying, no taxation without representation. What you may not know is that that was said by James Otis, and it was in a direct reaction to the Sugar and Stamp Acts. The colonists were beyond the point of being upset. They had to do something about this. So James Otis, who remember is one of the Long Room organization group members, says that acting as single colonies hasn't worked. So he proposes that they get all the colonies together to have a meeting so that they can act as one group and present themselves to the crown that way, to the crown, to the government. He suggested the intercolonial meeting that would be known as the Stamp Act Conference. They met in October of 1765 in New York because at that time, New York was the center of political activity for the colonies. All right, so get that down and you can see there's a depiction of that meeting. Just like the Plan of Union and the Albany Plan of Union, it seemed like a failure at first. And the reason for that is only 9 colonies showed up. Only Georgia, North Carolina, New Hampshire, and Virginia didn't show up. And the problem with that is that Virginia was the powerhouse in colonial politics and money. And those 4 colonies did not send representatives. So it wasn't actually a complete intercolonial meeting, but it was still 9 colonies. Once they all got together, immediately the radicals who wanted to declare war and independence right then started fighting with the moderates who wanted a peaceful resolution, and they wanted the moderates wanted to remain part of England. So they start arguing, you know, like people do. And the Congress's president, William Ruggles, refused to sign the Stamp Act resolution because it was not strongly opposed to Britain's rule. Even a New Jersey delegate got mad and just left. So at first, the Stamp Act Congress seems like a failure, at first. But then there was a little bit of success. The moderates did win out, and they wrote the Stamp Act resolves that said Parliament had the right to make laws. But, so they're saying, yes, we agree, the government in London has the right to make laws over us because we are British citizens. But they still argued that taxation without representation was not fair. That since they're part of Great Britain, that they should have representatives in Parliament too. Of the 9 colonies represented, 8 signed the Stamp Act resolves, and they sent them by ship to the king. So essentially, now I will tell you that essentially the boycotts did more to end the Stamp Act, but the Stamp Act Congress was an important first step because it showed that a significant portion, I mean 8 out of 12 agreeing on something is very significant. But the fact that 8 out of 12 agreed that they had more in common and they did need each other and they could work together. That's what came out of this. So when the time to declare independence is going to come and the time to fight is going to come, they're ready to unite. They're almost there. All right, go ahead and do your thing.